How's it going, everyone? Thanks for joining us on Twin States News. I'm Nicole Menner. The Alabama Crimson Tide have been flawless through 10 weeks of the season, and they haven't been challenged all season long. But while Mississippi State would never really threaten to score on Saturday night, the Tide would be handed their fiercest challenge of 2018. Alabama would be held to a season-low 305 yards by the Bulldogs defense in what would end up being a 24-0 shutout loss for MSU. State would force a pair of Alabama turnovers, but they couldn't quite cash in. Nick Fitzgerald and the Bulldog offense would be held to 169 yards in what ended up being the second closest margin of victory for Alabama this season. But the Dogs didn't do enough of the little things to make that matter.
We knew the margin of error would be incredibly small going into the game. We needed to win the explosive play battle, the turnover battle, and play great situational football. We didn't. We only had 3 offensive explosives. We limited them and met our goal there, but didn't win it as a team. We were 2-1 on the turnover ratio, so we did win that. Did not do a good job on third down offensively. We were pretty good defensively. Certainly 1 of 12 is not going to help you extend drives and put points on the board and put the ball in the end zone.
MSU's next challenge will be Arkansas on Saturday morning. Well, the Ole Miss Rebels' struggles in the SEC have crept deep into the season after their latest loss, a 38-24 setback at Texas A&M. Ole Miss had little trouble moving the ball, but they had a lot of trouble slowing down a balanced Aggie attack. Jordan Ta'amu would throw for 373 yards and a touchdown as the Rebs would drop to 1-5 in league play. And once again, it seemed that the game was theirs, but the Rebels can't seem to shake their fourth quarter demons.
You keep battling and finding a way to have an opportunity to win games in the fourth quarter and coming up short. So, the message, we just got to find a way to finish in the fourth quarter and, make the plays that you have to make to win games. And I just very, very pleased with the way our guys keep fighting with all the adversity. They keep getting off the mat and they keep battling. But the object of the game is to win.
Ole Miss will head north to Vanderbilt next weekend for a 6:30 SEC Network contest. Well, the New Orleans Saints had everything clicking on both sides of the ball in their win over the Cincinnati Bengals. Drew Brees threw for 265 yards, 3 touchdowns, and would pass Brett Favre for second all-time in career passing touchdowns. Mark Ingram rushed for over 100 yards, and Alvin Kamara would find the end zone twice in the victory. Since dropping the season opener to Tampa Bay, the Saints have now won 8 in a row and sit on top of the NFC South. Well, just a few days after losing the newly signed DezBryant for the season, the Saints have answered that by signing Brandon Marshall to a 1-year deal. The 6-time Pro Bowler will join his 7th NFL team and 4th in the last 2 years. Marshall has 970 career receptions for over 12,000 yards with 83 touchdowns. His 6 seasons of 100-plus receptions is the most in NFL history. The Seahawks cut him loose after hauling in just 11 receptions through 7 games. And speaking of DezBryant, we saw quite a few X's thrown up from the Saints in Sunday's win in honor of him. Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Mark Ingram, all throwing it up after he tore his Achilles on Friday. He would even get some love from his former teammate as Jalen Smith threw up the X after a big play against the Eagles. Bryant, of course, very active on Twitter throughout this, very appreciative of the recognition he received yesterday in the games, and Drew Brees spoke about that after the game.
Man, you could tell how excited he was, to not only get back, be playing again, but I think to be a part of our team. I think that's something he had wanted for a while, and so obviously for things to have gone the way they did and him not get the opportunity to be out there with us, I think we all still felt like, listen, he made an impression, and I think guys felt his desire and his passion for the game, and so I think that was it says a lot about our team, and the way that we embrace guys.
And the votes are in. Ronald Acuna Jr. is your NL Rookie of the Year as he beat out Juan Soto of the Nationals and Walker Buehler of the Dodgers. This, of course, the icing on top of the cake for the 20-year-old after quite the historic season. He was named Minor League Player of the Year in 2017, came up to the big leagues this April, and began his reign with a 416-foot home run in just his 2nd game in the bigs, and then the Braves season would end with a memorable grand slam from Acuna actually hit off Walker Buehler in the NLDS. In total, Acuna would hit .293, 26 home runs this season, including one in 5 straight games. We all remember that from earlier in the summer, actually, and he is just only beginning. I mean, this kid is so fun to watch.
Yeah.
The Braves have such a young team as is, and he just really rounds that out.
Nice to have such a promising young player, too.
And it was quite the battle with him and Juan Soto going up for NL Rookie of the Year, so it's a close one. But
Juan Soto, 19, great player.
And Acuna,
already.
20, also a great player, Mark.